So today is the final Kentucky Derby prep race, which is the Lexington Stakes, and it's actually my favorite Kentucky Derby prep race. And that includes the Derby, the Risen Star Stakes, the Louisiana Derby, the Bluegrass, and Wood Memorial, and also Florida Derby. And the reason why I like the Lexington Stakes is because you have like second tier horses who are trying to make one last run to accumulate points to run in the Derby. But however, it looks like this field is most likely going to run in the Preakness, according to the daily racing form. However, I'm going to look at a different approach. I think some of these horses could actually run in the Pat Day Stakes, which is an undercard for the Kentucky Derby. Which is an undercard for the Kentucky Derby. And in last year, the Pat Day Stakes Mile, the winner was Seize the Gray, who ended up winning the Preakness 2 weeks later. So that's what I plan to look at when I'm prepping the Lexington Stakes. So for the Lexington Stakes, I'm going to use bet 4 horses, but 3 of the horses I'm planning to use in my exacta and trifecta boxes. I found out when it comes to 3-horse betting on a race that the exacta box and the trifecta boxes have become sort of my favorite type of combination. So that's what I plan to do for the Lexington Stakes. And actually, one of the horses that I plan to use is number 8, Hypnus. So he's going to be one of the 3 horses that I plan to use in my exacta and trifecta boxes. And I underline Kenneth McPeak because last year he was the trainer of Mystic Dan. And Hypnus right now is pretty good play at the moment. I looks like he might have been either 6-1 or 8-1, but I can read what I actually accidentally crossed out. But he's actually gonna be one of the horses that I plan to use in my exotic bets. The other one is actually another Kenneth Peak horse, trained horse, and that's Native Runner. And there's a couple reasons why I like this horse. One is his broodmare sire is Bernardini, who was a champion broodmare sire. In addition to that, the last 2 races he has won. So when you look at his buyer speed figures, there's an improve. Like from his 3rd race, which is we had a 58, and all the way, and then moving up from 61 to 70 to 84. So I noted that he's a possible long shot play. He will be my long shot play in my and one of my exotic bets. The 3rd horse I'm planning to use is in my exacta and trifecta box is Bullard. And Bullard is based in Santa Anita. And I believe Santa Anita this year has probably the strongest Kentucky Derby prep fields. The last race that Bullard ran, he ran second to Barnes. Barnes he actually ran 3rd to Barnes. I apologize for that. But Barnes at the time was a highly thought of Kentucky Derby candidate. However, the last 2 races Barnes has faded. But despite that, the fact that Bullard has run in Santa Anita, I think shows quality that this horse might have over this field. So for my exacta and my trifecta boxes, it's going to be number 3 Bullard, number 5 Native Runner, and number 8 Hypnus. And I plan to do a $3 exacta box and a $3 trifecta box. So that's going to be that's going to be $18 for the exacta box and $18 for the trifecta box. So I mentioned how I plan to play the superfecta box. The last time I played a superfecta box, actually it was this time last year almost. It was at Golden Gate Fields for the San Francisco Mile, which was the last stakes race run at Golden Gate Fields. So I got the superfecta box that day, and I was like shocked when I got it because I was at the racetrack. But it was like it was one of those moments. It was like it was I didn't expect it because I do believe that a superfecta box for a single race is probably the hardest bets to make, and it's probably not the greatest in terms of odds of winning, because when you have like multiple runners, you're dependent on the first four that you pick to finish one, two, three, four. So, but the fourth horse I plan to use, and this is only for the superfecta box, is Gosker. And there's a couple reasons why. One is Nyquist won the Kentucky Derby. And in addition to his broodmare sire is Tappet, who actually has sired multiple winners of the Belmont Stakes. So with the speed of Nyquist and with the stamina of Tappet, I think this horse has the pedigree to run a mile and 16th. Usually for the superfecta box, I only gonna put 10 cents, so that would be only $2.40. However, I'm going to do a $1 superfecta box. So that's going to be $24. So given the fact that I'm paying $18 for the exacta box, $18 for the trifecta box, and then $24 for the superfecta box, that's $60 that I plan to bet. And then so that's it, $60 for the Lexington Stakes. So as the saying goes, and when it comes to betting, you bet small. I bet small to win big. That's what you try to do. And for those who are betting today, good luck to everybody.